Welcome everyone to Awaken Your Soul and a Taste of India. We were starting tonight with a little bit of breathing just to get our nervous system underway and get it calmed. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to do what we call a square breath. And so we're going to start for a moment, just if it's comfortable to gently close down your eyes, just breathing in for the count of 4 in your own rhythm, holding your breath for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding the breath out for 4. And that's really to calm me more than you guys, just so you know. I did say that, and I usually say that my events are prone to laughter because although we're doing what will be deep spiritual work tonight, laughing is, we did have more people. See, I was wrong when I said we were all here. Hello, let me have to start again. Hello, lovely people who've just joined us. Oop, here we go. Lovely to see you all. If you're just joining us, we'll start again with our square breathing. We keep restarting it, which is funny. And some of you don't know me, but I'll explain a little bit about who I am in a minute because I can see a couple of new people there. Lovely to see you. So welcome to our Taste of India evening, our event tonight. And we were starting off with a breathing exercise to keep us connected and to calm our nervous system in case you've had some busy time today. So if you're comfortable to gently close your eyes and breathing gently into the count of 4, holding the breath for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding the breath out to the count of 4. And happily, this is a speedy breath to reset your nervous system. Having our nervous system well and truly supported is very important in spiritual journey because the spiritual energy has to come through our body and our body is supported by our nervous system. So tonight we are going to chat a little bit about the temple I visited in India. I'm going to show you some photos of the temple. And already I just feel excited just thinking about talking about it because it's one of my favorite places and I've been going there 2 or 3 times a year for 12 years. It's my 12-year anniversary right now in September. There's a very special celebration on over there right now. And the very first time I went there in 2013 was this exact same celebration. So it's 12 years. So I always feel excited and grateful that I get this opportunity to share with you the profound transformation that I have had through being there and the miraculous things that take place. And I am leading a retreat there in November, and Roz and Irina, who are with us tonight, are coming along with me, and more are welcome. There's still a few more places. However, what I wanted to do first is, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Chamundai. I'm also known as the Laughter Lawyer. And if you had been with me, gosh, a very long time ago, probably 50 years ago, a really long time ago, when I was young, I was asking my mum questions like, Mum, what happens when you die? Mum, where's God? So I was born with quite a curiosity about the spiritual and about energy, and I was very sensitive, and I always, looking back, knew what people were feeling and was a little puzzled when they didn't always behave in the way that I thought they were feeling. So I think that's quite normal for sensitive children. Anyway, then life was good. I went to church with my parents and I had a lovely life in Sydney and then in Port Macquarie for most of my life from about age 12 onwards. And then if you'd seen me 30 years ago, I had become a lawyer. I thought I was going to change the world like Perry Mason or one of those TV shows, Boston Legal, whichever one, where they go into court and they find the truth. And I thought it was going to be amazing. And then I became a lawyer. Then I found out about the legal system. And then I found out how hard it was. And then I got extreme anxiety from trying to complete tasks that I didn't feel like I knew how to do. And I wasn't as great back then as asking for help as I am now. So I felt really dumb if I couldn't do stuff because I was meant to be a smart lawyer. So it was very stressful. And after about 10 years, I realized that being a lawyer wasn't all that I was cut out to be, and that I really wanted to help change the world and change people and help people in a much deeper way, because people were coming into my legal practice to get helped, but I felt like I wasn't capable of helping them in the way that they were wanting. And they would often have their court cases successful because I was a court lawyer. I did go to court, not quite like Perry Mason or those TV guys, but I did go to court in my own style. And what was I saying? Oh, and then people would be unhappy even though they'd win their court cases. And I thought, this can't be all there is. There's got to be something else. And so then I went to learn counseling at Lifeline, and I became a telephone counselor and went through a massive journey of transformation with counseling, also became a mediator. And then if you'd seen me 15 years ago, I would have discovered laughter yoga through another series of very unusual and aligned events, and started adding laughter yoga classes, laughing for no reason, into my spiritual practices, and discovering that it was a fastest way for emotional clearing was actually through laughing. Ha 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 ha. So anything goes off track with Zoom, you might hear me laughing. And laughing is one of the most important practices, I believe, when it comes to spirituality. We need to be able to take ourselves not too seriously. So at that stage, as I said, 15 years ago, I was become, I'd trained in energy healing, spiritual teaching, all sorts of different modalities there, to counseling in order to help people. And I taught a lot of those things, realizing that I loved being a teacher. So I taught spiritual practices. I spoke at conferences and taught around different countries around the world, in America and India and South Africa and all sorts of places, New Zealand and in Australia. And so I realized during that time that many people, particularly professionals and people in different workplaces, they can become very focused on life, on work, and they forget that there's a lot of help available to them on the inner plane. There's help available from their soul, the higher part of themselves. There's a lot of wisdom that comes through when they're connected to their soul. And so that's why then I dedicated my time and my life and what I offer in the world to be a spiritual teacher and a healer. And when I first discovered my home in India 12 years ago, I also started taking retreats there, which I've been doing since 2019. So that's 6 years now. I only had 1 year off during COVID. I managed to be there in the beginning of 2020 and go back in 2022. So I only missed 1 year of being there. And I made up for it by going back more frequently before and after. So tonight I did want to share a little bit about India, and I wanted to just quickly show you my altar. So I have some sacred objects from India, which is going to be a little bit relevant when I show you some photos in a minute. So let me just close this for a minute, and then I'm just going to turn you around so that you can see. I just have to change my camera. And then this could be one of those laughing moments. Ha ha ha. Don't know what you'll be able. Oh, there we go. So if you can see on my altar there, there's some sacred objects. These are representation of the feet of the divine. And Shakti Amma, who's in the photo there, is the teacher in India. And he's a very enlightened master. And when we go to India, we get to speak to Amma. And Amma, even though Amma means mother, Amma's obviously in a male body, so that's a story in itself. But Amma's feet have been on these to bless them, and that means putting sacred energy into them. And there's some other sacred objects here which hold a very high frequency. We've got Narayani there, and so Narayani is a representation of the divine in a particular form, which brings strength, protection, and wisdom. So an altar is a very lovely place to gather a frequency of energy that you can sit in front of and oops, forgot to change cameras. Ha ha ha. This is where I go ha 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 because you can see my, there we go. That was funny, wasn't it? You just see my neck and not my head. Right. What was I saying? Yeah, so an altar is a lovely place where you can sit. And if you have a place in your home, which is the main place where you do your meditation or your spiritual practices, it accumulates energy. And this is relevant to speaking about the temple where I visit in India, which is called Sripuran. So Shri is like Devi, shining one, and it's the home of the Devi, the home of the goddess. And to celebrate that, the temple is coated on the outside in gold. It's actually real gold plate, like gold leaf. So I'm going to show you some photos. And then around the outside of the temple is a big pathway which is covered over, and it's shaped in a six-pointed star shape. So it's called the star path. And we talk about, oh, we're going for a walk on the star path. We're going to do that in our meditation. So I thought it would be fun to have a look at it as an aerial photo, and then also just to show what the temple is, because it's quite an extraordinary place. It's in the south of India in the state of Tamil Nadu. It's very close to Vellore and Chennai. And it looks like this. Oh, Karen's coming. She's late. Ah, she didn't hear my memo about being on time. She's come just in time for the photos. All right, now let's see. I'm going to share these photos with you. And in order to do that, what will I do here? And this is where I go, ha, 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 ho, 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 ho. I want to share my screen. I need my little secretary here. Ah, there we go. There we go. This is going to be a miracle in a minute. Ha, 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 ha. Ho, 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 ho. There we go. I think you can see that now. I didn't. So that is the star path. Now we're high up above the star path. It's obviously an aerial photo, and you can see, obviously, it's the shape of a star. This is an older photo. There's more development of gardens now than there were in this photo. But see right in the center, hope it's easy to see, there's like a round or like a round shape with a gold pointy temple in the middle of it. So that's the actual golden temple where the divine as Lakshmi, there's a statue of Lakshmi inside there. That's where she sits. But around the outside is this path. And so the whole thing is a particular shape that is sacred geometry. So every part of a temple is constructed with energy and frequency and vibration and sound and design. So it's actually designed, and often there's triangles in the design because the triangles hold the divine energy. So you can see that this is made up of triangles. And then if we were able to go up even higher, we would be able to see that the design on top of the temple forms even more triangular shapes. So I once saw that on a phone, but I don't have access to that photo. So then if we just look at the next one, oh, it won't let me go to the next one. I don't know why that is. Okay. No. Can't go. It won't let me. All right. Ha ha ha. You can only do that. All right. Now, I'll just show you one more photo. Oh, it's the same one though. So that's from a different angle. So that's a little bit easier to see the golden temple in the middle. And you walk all around that star path, and you'll see on one side there's a red roof area that goes in towards that golden temple, and that's where you walk in. So there's a lot of beautiful practices that we do while we're walking around the path, because walking on the path itself, under the path, which is paved, and there's a roof to protect you from the rain and the sun, and the path is paved, but underneath there's sacred geometry. So every time you walk around, your soul is being activated, your energy is being activated and healed. It's really extraordinary. When you get into the middle, that's what it looks like in the middle. And so that photo, it almost doesn't look real, does it? But it is actually real. It almost looks like AI, but it's not. So where those columns and everything are, that's where the actual gold of the temple is. And then that circle that is around, that's another path that you walk around so that you can circumambulate, which means to circle around the actual temple where, or the highest frequency of energy is inside that temple. And that's what it looks like from another angle. And that's what it looks like closer up and at night when the lights are on. And you get this incredible reflection in the water that's down below. So the way that it reflects into the water, it doesn't make sense because it can't actually reflect the way it is. It's one of those amazing things that happens there. You just see things that are not actually possible, but they're real in front of your eyes. So it's one of the miracles of being there. There's Shakti Amma walking into a different temple, but you can see the colors and the intricacy. And I thought I'd put that one in because I'm actually on the left-hand side in a red sari following the divine, which I like to do when I'm there. So I think that, and I thought this was kind of nice, a reminder that we can, in a sense, create how we experience things by changing the contents of our consciousness as we go along the spiritual path. We are moving through different vibrations or energies, and as we heal and we transform, then that's what is starting to happen. Our consciousness or our thinking, our emotions is becoming more peaceful, more aligned with your soul. That's a little thing about the spiritual journey, which I might just come back to later. So let me just... Oh, I stopped sharing. That was clever. Ha, ha, ha. All right. The very first time I went to the Star Path and to this particular temple, as I said, was in 2013. And I remember when I got there, it was a little bit overwhelming. I was a little bit confused. I didn't know what was going on. There was different ceremonies and chanting and practices and noise and priests and, things going on. And I just thought, what is this place? Part of me wanted to get out of there quite quickly, but this other part of me was saying, there's something really profound going on here, and I don't know what it is. I want to come back and find out. So I was only there for a week on my first visit, and all I could think about is, I have to come back. I have to come back. I have to come back. And so I went back 3 months later, and that visit was really different. I went with a group of people in a retreat. I wasn't leading the retreat. I was a participant. And I'd had a very big tragedy in my life. I'd lost someone very close to me. And so I had been going through a lot of grief and emotional turmoil. And when I went back on this visit, a friend, it was actually my daughter that I lost. So a friend told me to take a photo of my daughter to show to Amma, to the teacher when I was there. And so I had this photo, and I went to go up to speak to Amma. There's a ceremony when you go up and you get blessed water, and you can get to have a conversation with Amma, and it's normally quite relaxed and beautiful. But I was in a lot of distress, so I was trying to go up to show this photo, and I was just in tears. I was just sobbing. And my friend who was supporting me, who's also my energy healer and my teacher at that time, sort of was holding me, and I'm holding out this photo in front of Amma. And one of us said, it's my daughter and she's passed away. And I'll never forget this. I could see like this light and this beautiful energy from kind of, there was like a physical form of Narayani in front of me. So he was standing there, and then he just took his finger and put it onto the photo. And as he touched her photo, I felt massive amount of healing, a massive amount of energy released from me. But my sense of it wasn't just healing me, it was healing my daughter, even though she'd passed away, if she needed any healing in the other realms, wherever she was. But it was healing all of the family. It was healing all of our friends. And it was one of those moments where it's like time stops. And I just thought, what has just happened here? I have just received the biggest miracle. And grief is something that is known to be a very big awakener on the spiritual path. It's very common for us to have grief experiences, and they awaken our soul. And to have that amount of healing within only a couple of months, she'd passed away in the July, and this was, by the time I went back the second time, it was December. And so this was like 6 months. So within 6 months of what had been a horrific and traumatic event for myself and a lot of people, I felt like 90% of the healing was done. It was just, and then I think later on that day, we had a meditation experience with the group, and a lot of grief came out during that time, and I was just sobbing, and the teacher was holding me, and I was just sobbing and sobbing and crying and crying. And then it was like that was another piece of the grief, and then it was just disappeared. And so that was just one of many, many, many profound moments. And another one that is relevant to that particular incident, because I had lost her and I went back several times. And, we go through different stages when it comes to the grief journey, whether it's someone has passed or whether someone has gone out of our life and we're grieving for them. And I remember this one day I was there, and I was probably in a bit of the anger part of grief journey. I was a bit frustrated, and I was saying in my head, I was going, God, divine, if you're there, why did you take her away from me? Why did you take my daughter away? I'm going to cry when I say this. And as quick as you can breathe, this thought voice came into my head. I didn't take her from you. I gave her to you for 23 years. So just feel how profound that is. Like what a profound shift in awareness, that someone wasn't taken. They were actually given, that everyone in our lives is a gift to us. So that's another moment I'll never forget. And there's so many more. I will tell some more stories, and I will make them available for tonight, because I know that we're here also to have a meditation experience, and we want to go and visit this beautiful temple on the inner planes. And so we do that through our meditation. But they were just a couple of things that I experienced. A lot of people have had items manifested pretty much out of the air, out of Amma's hand. And I've witnessed that. I've seen medallions. These are not ones that Amma has manifested, but I've seen that happen. I've been with a group of 5 people where we're all just watching, and Amma's hand opens, and there's a pure silver, solid, intricately carved medallion, which I know, if you're not familiar with divine miracles, sounds like, well, that's just crazy, but there's nowhere else it could have come from. It just wasn't there, and then it was there. It wasn't there, it was there. So many great spiritual masters are known for bringing forth items out of nowhere, but they're not coming out of nowhere, they're coming out of creation. So what they're doing is they're using the forces of creation to coalesce into an item with their will and with their desire. So all that to say that it's a very miraculous place, and if you feel at all called to visit, then I'm happy to chat about that. What we're going to do right now, if there's no burning questions, if anyone has a burning question, then that is okay too. And usually between my website and other places, you will find information about this temple. So there is a retreat page on my website. So I'm just going to put my website in the chat. I'm expecting everyone who needs to know does know. It's Laughter Lawyer, because I used to be a lawyer. Now I teach laughing, amongst other things, .com.au. Laughterlawyer.com.au. At that website, there is a page that is Retreat to India. And there's some links there to the temple. And there's some links to the story about how this spiritual teacher came to be the teacher at this particular location, and how Amma has built this temple out of nothing and out of donations that have come, and now has amazing charitable programs. So they feed thousands of people a day. They plant thousands of trees. They've actually completely reforested all the hills around the area. There were no schools there. There was no medical attention. There's now a state-of-the-art hospital. All of the departments that we would have in a hospital here in Australia or in your country. And there is nursing colleges where they train nurses and doctors. There's an amazing 2 schools. And Amma says that, people need education, they need food, they need to have good health treatment, and then they need their spiritual connection. So all of that is available inside this small rural village, which used to be just paddocks. So yes. And then as we're going to go on this journey, I asked my guides and my teachers, is there a message for the group tonight? And this is from one of Amma's books. It's called Connect with the Divine. And I was thinking, we'll go on a journey to India. We'll take ourselves there in our imagination and I'll lead you through it. And then I opened this book and guess what I read? Can Amma talk to us about going on a journey to see the divine? The journey to the divine takes some effort. And Amma replied to that question, the journey towards the divine is not a tour for the physical body. You are going closer to the mirror to know more about yourself. So Amma says the divine is like a mirror reflecting back who we are. When you stand very far away from a mirror, you do not know what you look like. But when you go closer to the mirror, it gives a clear object or picture of you, and then you can make yourself more beautiful. Going towards the divine is the same thing. You're making yourself beautiful. So there we go. We're going to go on a tour towards the divine. And as the divine is like a mirror, it reflects back our own selves, so that one of the things that happens when you go somewhere like a sacred temple that is set up with very high vibrational energy, it's very healing, it's very powerful, and you see yourself during the time there. So you get to see your beauty. You also get to see the parts of yourself that you kind of go, I don't know about that part of me. I was a bit grumpy today, and I wasn't very nice to that person I was sitting next to, or I had thoughts about somebody I saw down the road. And then you can see those parts of yourself as well, and you can go, okay, maybe I'll clean that up and do some healing and transform. So that's one of the ways the transformation happens over there. All right, so now we are going to go on a journey, and I'm going to share a little bit of music, which I will make soft so that you can hear me as well. And we'll have a little bit of that Om Namo Narayani music that we had at the beginning. And everyone can get ready. If you need to quickly grab any water or anything like that, then you can do that. And then we're going to settle down for maybe 20 minutes or so, and then we'll finish up. And that's interesting. I almost played a different song. I wonder if I should. No, I think I'll stay with the ha ha ha. Remember I said if I'm doing anything unusual, I just say ha ha ha. Right. Make that a little softer. Hopefully you can just hear that softly. Let me know if it's too loud. Good. So just start to relax. And just breathing in and breathing all the way out. And just feel yourself deeply connecting down into Mother Earth. Beautiful Mother Earth, Gaia. She's a divine being herself. And as you take your breath down deep into the earth, with your imagination, imagine you can breathe up beautiful golden energy, highest vibrational energy. And breathe that golden light all the way out through your body, out through the top of the head, and just sending it all the way up to the highest point in the universe. Breathe out through the top of your head. And imagine you can send that golden energy all the way up through the planets and the stars to cosmic energy, creator force. Use your intention to connect with the highest vibrational cosmic energy. And breathe it in. Imagine you can breathe it all the way down from the top of your head. All the way down into the earth. Across time and space, we call on our guides, teachers, ancestors. We call on guiding all those parts of us who hold the highest vibration. Working for the light only, we call on Tuesday. We call on Narayani. Energies of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. On those qualities of Narayani of strength and protection, wisdom and abundance in all forms. Being aware of your heart. And just breathing into your heart with the feelings of gratitude. Just being grateful for this moment, for your life, anything at all you can choose to be grateful for. And as you feel that gratitude, allow your heart to be filled with love. Think about someone or something that you love. Open and expand and unconditional love. And just keeping with that feeling of love, feeling of expansion. Now we're going to go on a journey together. Imagine that you can stand up from where you're sitting in your room. You're just going to walk towards your closest door. And And outside your door is a beautiful, sparkly vehicle. It's called a Merkaba. It's a little bit like a series of triangles again intersecting. And it's, imagine like a little spaceship or a little hubby house that you can hop into, but it's surrounded by bright white light. It's like a little cave. And we're all going to hop in together. There's plenty of room. It expands to fit us all in. We feel ourselves happy and safe and excited, surrounded by the divine energies. Because across time and space, there's no limitation in what can be experienced. Our energy is endless and our soul is boundless. And so as we close the door of our Merkaba, the divine energies lift us gently up and we start to see down below. You might see your house. You might see lights down below, trees. And you feel that we're all lifting up together, lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. Getting higher, getting higher. We can see the stars and sun. And we're traveling across the land. Traveling across the land, you can see the trees. And as we get higher and higher, everything gets smaller and smaller, just like it does when you're up in a plane. You start to see clouds and stars. And you feel that we're moving together, moving towards the sacred land of India. Moving. In the blink of an eye, we're hovering above India as we've crossed over. We've crossed over the oceans to get there. We've crossed over other land masses. And we're finding ourselves above the land shape of India, which has that particular unique form. Thinking about the shape of India, if you look on a map or an aerial photography, the Merkaba is landing gently into the energy of India. It's gently merging with the sacred energies of prayer and meditation and great saints and sages and rishis who have been holy masters in the land of India. And the Merkaba, our spaceship, it's traveling into the south part of India on the east, down near the city of Chennai and the town of Vellore. And as we start to go a little bit lower and a little bit lower, we see that there's a golden temple down below us and a path in the shape of a star. And we land on the outside of this temple. And as we land gently out the front gates of this temple and out the front of the guest house, which is called Kamala Nivas, which is where people stay when they're visiting the temple, if they're staying overnight. And the Merkaba melts away and we feel our feet on the ground. It's warm. The air is warm. And there's the noise of horns on the road, sound of the cars beeping their horns to warn people that they're coming. And it's all a little bit noisy and chaotic. And we hold hands and we walk into the front entrance of the guest house and we walk down into the garden, and it becomes a little bit more quiet, a little bit more peaceful. And we start to relax as we breathe into the peace, and the warm air is passing past us, passing us by. We walk around the back of this hotel, which is all painted in white. We walk round to the back to the gate, and there's a gate that goes through to the temple. And this is the way that we visit because we're from overseas, and we get to bypass the local people who have to queue up, and we get to go straight into the temple. So we walk through this gate and onto a path, If we had shoes on, we now leave them at the entrance of the temple. And we feel our feet on the path, and it's warm. And as we walk through into the temple, we see the start of the pathway. We see a shop, and we start to walk down the path. And we cross over past a big area where they do fire ceremonies. And we walk across to the other side of the path. And then we start to walk along, and we start to see now the beautiful gardens. There's trees, beautiful greenery, flowers. And there's a beautiful breeze. Although the air is warm, it's feeling like it's a beautiful temperature. It's just the right balance of time of day where it's a little bit cool and it's still warm at the same time. And we walk around this path, and we get to the first temple, which is holding a beautiful statue of the form of the Hindu goddess called Ganesha. And Ganesha looks like a man sitting with the head of an elephant to represent wisdom. And this Ganesha is made of solid silver and is the size of, actually larger than the size of a man. And when we walk into the temple and we look at Ganesha, we look at this statue in this glowing silver, it is decorated with flowers and beautiful jewels. We feel emanating from Ganesha a beautiful, joyful, happy energy, and an energy that removes away obstacles. And we realize there's a ceremony going on, and so we sit down in there. And there is a group of priests, and they're doing a mantra, and it goes like this. Om Kli Ang Ang Ayum Kilium Sarvum Sarvasiddhi Ganapatiye Nama Swaha Harihi Om. Om Kli Ang Ang Ayum Kilium Sarvum Sarvasiddhi Ganapatiye Nama Swaha Harihi Om. Om Kli Ang Ang Ayum Kilium Sarvum Sarvasiddhi Ganapatiye Nama Swaha. And we breathe in the sound and the frequency and the vibration, and it clears our energy. We breathe out down through our legs and feet, and it releases and heals down through our energy system and through our physical body. And although the sounds don't have a direct translation into English because they hold a frequency inside of them, it means that we gather all of the powers, the siddhis or the powers of Ganesha. So the powers of wisdom, of removing obstacles in our lives, of being connected to the earth, being strong, having a mind that is our servant, not our master, that we control divine thoughts in our mind and create creative ideas. And the priests give us some blessed flowers and water, and we drink. And we walk out of this temple. Walk around the star path, feeling the energy beneath our feet. The path is warm, and underneath our feet is sacred geometry, which is giving us a healing as we walk. It's adjusting our energy field, just like when someone plays a piano, it changes the frequency and the music. So the divine is playing us like a piano as we walk, tuning us up, clearing us, healing us. And we walk all the way around the path, noticing beautiful statues and gardens and flowers, and lots of other people walking past us mostly Indian people in beautiful coloured saris and dresses, and men in different coloured clothing, their best shirts and trousers and their best clothing to be in the temple and see the divine. And we keep walking around past a little shop where they sell books and incense and different little gifts. There's a little place where you can buy water and a cup of tea, sweet biscuits because they like their sugar. Then we keep walking around and walking around. We get to the corner of each star part of the path, and we look into the center and we can see the golden center of the temple where we're going to. And we keep walking and we keep walking. And then we get to the entrance to the golden part of the temple. There's a few other places that we have passed by, but for today we're going to notice those and come back to them later. And then we walk into the very center part where all that golden building is. And there's golden columns beside us and a golden roof above our head. And the priest is smiling and welcoming us as we walk in and sit down. And we sit in front of a large statue who's called Lakshmi. And she's made of a black stone, but she's all dressed in beautiful sari, beautiful dress, in beautiful silk with flowers all over her. And she looks like a statue, but she looks very beautifully decorated, and we keep gazing at her because she looks so beautiful. And as we sit there, there's a beautiful breeze blowing across the path, and we close our eyes and we ask for the blessings of abundance that come from Lakshmi. And if Lakshmi was to sing to us, she might sing a little bit of this. Hiranyavarnam harinim suvannarajatas rajam chandram hiranmayim lakshmim jata vedo ma'ava tama ahajvata vedo lakshmi manapakamini yasyam hiranyam vindeyam kamashvam purushanaham ashvapurvam pradhamadhyam astinada prabodhinim shriyam devim mupafwe shrirma devi jushatam. We would just breathe in the sounds, which again are a prayer telling Lakshmi how beautiful she is. There's a lot of devotion in a lot of the practices in these temples. So they sing about Lakshmi having golden eyes, lotus eyes and golden form, and shining like the sun. And then we stand up and we feel our energy vibrating with a new note of frequency, like the piano has tuned us into a different place. We feel energized and expanded. And we feel like we've let go of a little bit more that we didn't need. A little bit more healing has happened. And the priests give us some sacred water which we drink, and the water meets the water inside our body and expands it and amplifies the positive energy and vibration, and every cell in our body and every bit of water in our body starts to vibrate with a new energy. And we are enjoying ourselves, having fun and taking in all of the sights, and we then walk out from Lakshmi's temple. We keep walking all the way around the star path, looking at the trees and the people. There's another shop where we can buy pictures and different statues, another place where we can have tea, more books, calendars, all the things, all the tourist things. Just little tiny shops, just little stalls on the path, not big shops, just small ones. And then we walk all the way around and we come to another temple, almost on our way out now. And we walk into this temple and we can feel a coolness, and it's magnificently large, and it's a little bit more dark. And there's a different sort of music in there. And this is the temple to Srinivasa, Vishnu. And Vishnu is like the husband of Lakshmi. If Lakshmi is the goddess, Vishnu is like the god who is joined to Lakshmi, and he represents being able to serve selflessly and to help people. And when we go through there, we hear different sounds and different chanting again. Srinivasa, people come in and they're calling out, Srinivasa. There's often a lot of sound people get very excited because they're near the divine. Srinivasa. It's a form of Vishnu. And then we sit in front of this very, very, very tall black stone statue who's also decorated with beautiful fabric and flowers and jewels, holding this golden covering on his hands. And in his hands, there's a sacred diagram which represents Lakshmi. It represents the abundance. So he holds Lakshmi in his hand and he blesses us as we sit and we close our eyes in meditation, and we feel more divine energy coming into us. And we feel the peace in our hearts. We come to the understanding that there is a soul part of us. We're not just our bodies. We have a life force that's everywhere. And as it wakes up, it brings forth all the qualities of peace, of kindness, of patience, qualities of beauty, understanding, abundance, strength. All of the good things wake up inside us. We feel incredibly loving to people around us, and we feel strong and sure about who we are. We start to have visions of who we want to be and how we want to help in the world. And we know that the only thing that's really important in the human journey is how we're going to help others. And then we walk back out of this temple and we walk further around the star path, and we realize that it's time that our Merkaba is calling us. And we go back down the path past some more shops that sell saris and books and Ayurvedic toothpaste and different Ayurvedic herbs and calendars and statues and lamps and plates and clothing. And we walk right down to the front and we exit from the temple, and there is our Merkaba standing there calling us. It's vibrating and it's glowing, and we all hop inside again, close the door, and we sit now very peacefully, very peacefully. Our minds are calm, our hearts are full. We hardly even notice that the Merkaba is lifting off now, up, 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 above the land of India, taking us safely across the land, across the oceans, and back to the door of our own homes. It was so easy and peaceful, we felt almost sleepy on the way home. Almost didn't notice that ourselves being transported back, all the way back, all the way back, safely, securely, all the way back, all the way back, all the way down, down, right outside your home, safely outside your door. And you wake up and walk into your door, closing it behind you, walking back into your seat and sitting down right here and now. Feeling the peace, feeling the journey, feeling the healing, feeling the curiosity about what more is there over there. We've just had a tiny little taste. And then you start to gently move your body. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. If anyone has a question or wants to say anything or share anything, you're more than welcome. Sometimes you just kind of sit in the space, but if you wanted to share anything, you are more than welcome. Hopefully everyone's okay. People may have fallen asleep, which is okay too. Good. All right. Good, good, good. So glad. Hopefully Ros and Irina, who are coming on the actual journey, are still with us. And Karen feels peaceful. Very good. Yes, it does. It does call you to visit, doesn't it? It really, different places around the world really call us, and it's just, I've been there so often that I forget to explain the profound nature of what's really available there. I wanted to do these sessions in order to share with you all about my journey there, because so much has happened over the years, and it's like it all absorbs inside and it's just in me. But then I forget that if I don't talk about it, no one knows. So thank you for coming along so that I could share. And might be a couple of people who I may not have met before, me and Hannah. If you wanted to ask anything or say anything, feel free. Good, beautiful space. That's nice to know. Yes, Irina's there. That's good. Right. So if anyone does want to know any more about India or the retreats, you can definitely, I'm going to put my phone number here into the chat, because sometimes it's just easy to send me a text message or have a phone call and just say, hey, came to that meditation. I just wanted to know this or that. I've put my phone number in the chat. Feel free to send me a text with your name and just say that you're at the meditation. I did put my website up there earlier. I also have a lot of videos and things on YouTube. And if I knew my YouTube channel, I'd share it with you. I do. It's called Chamundai Karan, the Chamundai channel, but it's easier to find if you have the link. So I'll just see if I can find the link and put it in there for you. And if anyone has any questions or anything, I'll stay for a little bit to see. And so the music that we were listening to is Om Namo Narayani by my wonderful friends Ido and Joe. Joe is no longer with us, but Ido Khan is with us and makes beautiful music, and in fact has an amazing business, an app called Mantrify, which has got lots of beautiful mantras and spiritual teachings, and he spends a lot of time in India as well. So that's what we were listening to. It's called Om Namo Narayani. It means I give my devotion to Narayani, the goddess in that form, Narayani. That is that. And then I go to YouTube. I can send you my link. I have to say ha 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 here again, because if I was as organized as I wanted to be, I would have had the link ready. But it's all good. We've got the nice music. Okay, so it's really just YouTube at Chamundai. That's pretty easy, isn't it? Aha, which is my name. And there's channel messages, there's all sorts of things there. But it can be quite a good way if you want to just have more of my content, just to get a bit more of a sense of what else I do. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I've put that there. Everybody good? We will finish up. And as I say, there's my website, laughterlawyer.com.au, my YouTube channel, which is YouTube at Chamundai, Chamundai. And anything else you can reach out through contact through my website or my phone number, which I put down there as well. So thank you all for coming along tonight. And we will see you again very soon. And definitely, if you feel called to India, not necessarily to India in general, but to this particular temple for spiritual transformation, then get in touch. Bye-bye.